So the Judgment Day. Today I'll talk to you about very interesting sign, one of the minor signs of the Day of Judgment. And then after I mention that, then inshallah we'll move on to something interesting, news that I came across today. So before I share that news, I want to mention this sign, one of the minor signs of the Day of Judgment, which would be. But before I mention you, if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing, because we talk about the Judgment Day, the Qiyamah, we talk about the Mahdi, the Dajjal, Yajuj and Majuj on a regular basis, and inshallah this channel is completely dedicated for that. So my goal is to help you immensely, inshallah, in terms of understanding the signs of the Day of Judgment, the coming of the Mahdi, the Dajjal, Yajuj and Majuj. We talk about the Euphrates River, how the gold will show up. So if you are interested in these topics, inshallah you can subscribe, and we talk about these topics only in this channel. So inshallah this will benefit you. Now Rasulullah, he said that his coming is one of the minor signs of the Day of Judgment, and his passing away is also a minor sign. So not only that he is coming, that he is a prophet, that he was sent by Allah Azza wa Jal, is a minor sign, but also his death is also another minor sign. This is how the scholars, they have mentioned his when it comes to Rasulullah himself. So it shows, dear brothers and sisters, a significant thing about him. It shows how important he is in the history of humankind. And Rasulullah, he mentioned, Buistu anna wasa kahadihi min hadihi aw kahataini. Rasulullah said that my coming and the coming of the hour is like the distance of these two fingers, and obviously he meant to show us how close it is. So his coming, his presence, his standing on earth, his coming among us is such a significant event. How can that be ignored? He is the best of creation. He's the best of all Anbiya, subhanallah. So he is in himself a minor sign of the Day of Judgment. Now why this is a big deal is, number one, because we know he's the Khatamul Nabi. He's the last Nabi. That is the end of the prophethood. There is no prophet after him. Therefore it makes sense that he will become the minor sign, because after him there is no prophet. So in other words, for the whole world to exist, the humanity to exist, we do not need any more guidance. In the past there was Prophet Hud, Prophet Saleh, many other prophets were sent, Prophet Musa, Ibrahim, Nuh. All of these prophets were sent, and the earth, the people would deviate, and then the Anbiya, they will bring them back on the right path. But the message of Rasulullah is on autopilot, if you like. It will always fix itself. The message will never be corrupted. Islam is going to be exactly the way it is. It is never going to be changed. In the past, people could change it, but with Rasulullah, his message is never going to be twisted. The Quran cannot be changed. Also, the other reason why he is a big deal is because, dear brothers and sisters, his knowledge about the end of time that he has given us from Allah Azza wa Jal is enough. We do not need more knowledge. There is nothing new that Allah wants to mention to us, to reveal to us. Everything that we had to know and was necessary is already mentioned. I have a comment here. Walaikum assalam, brother. Thanks me. MNH. Russia, Ukraine, Israel have lifted the mask. And so his coming is a big sign, okay? And his existence, his presence, and then his death is a big sign. So now I want to share with you this news, inshallah, that I hope would give you some perspective as to what is happening. So this is a little bit different. This has nothing to do with the end of time, but I wanted to share this news because New Zealand right now, they're saying that China policy, they will go with China. The reason it is important to understand the end of time is because this kind of international politics, they will play a huge part before the coming of the major signs. As I believe personally, I mentioned it in the past, that what is happening right now in the international politics will have a huge part to play before the coming of the Day of Judgment. As we say, the sequence of it would be WW3, it could be WW4, who knows, but WW3 is actually more than enough. I was actually watching a news the other day. I'm going to be showing the news to you, because then inshallah maybe you'll understand better. There is a US, let me see if I can find that video. US Congresswoman, I believe, Tulsi Gabbard. I think she is a she's a congresswoman, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a listen at this video. She said something very interesting, and she said that about the WW3 that we talk about here. She said that this thing. Let's take a listen at this.
Here in the United States, and wondering why 2x4s now cost $9.
The reason you should watch this video is because she will explain. Okay, she will explain how the world will end. Believe it or not, she said that what is happening right now in the international politics, the world will come to an end just because of that. So she said we have to be very careful. So let's take a listen, inshallah, and then we'll make a few more comments.
As a piece, there's real drama unfolding in Europe. Tensions between Ukraine and Russia are the highest they have been in a very long time. And we get some sense that there are political elements, mostly in the Democratic Party, not exclusively though, who would like to see a war in Europe. Here. Leaders in this country who would like to see that.
So this is Tulsi Gabbard. Brothers, you can lower your gaze. She is not wearing hijab. She is talking about the end of humanity if we do not take precaution.
It is moving in a very dangerous direction, and the question for the American people is, are we willing to go to war with Russia on behalf of Ukraine? And we need to understand that such a war would come at a cost beyond anything that we can really imagine. Because this is not a war that is just, okay, this is going to be something that's happening to someone else, somewhere else on the other side of the world. No, this is something that will directly impact me and you, Tucker, every single one of your viewers, and all of our loved ones. And this is a war that is not a game. It's a war in which there are no winners, because you've got, thousands of nuclear weapons that the United States has aimed towards Russia. Russia has thousands of nuclear weapons aimed towards us that could hit any town or city in America in less than 30 minutes and exact a cost upon every one of us that would result in excruciating death and suffering beyond comprehension. Hundreds of millions of people dying and suffering, seeing their flesh being burned from their bones. This is something that
she actually she became so graphic about it. She actually mentioned that the world, all the technology and everything that we know today, will come to an end just because of that. In other words, she said this is the end of time. This is the end of the world if there is a problem between Russia and US. Now, this is why we need to understand this news, international politics, what is happening there, because this will give us a good idea, a solid idea as to what to look for. So New Zealand right now, they're siding with China, looks like. They're saying we are too afraid of China. China is too big for us. We cannot go head-on collusion with them. So therefore, we are not going to share intelligence with other countries regarding China. And they are backing out of it. They are saying, I'm sorry, but we cannot afford it. Dear brothers and sisters, these things are important because China is becoming the dominant force. China is going to be becoming the new world superpower. And so it is already being felt by many countries and individuals that the time has come. The time has come that we accept China as the world superpower, even though we do not want it, even though we do not like it, especially after what they did with the Uyghur Muslim. But subhanallah, it looks like the qadr of Allah is such that there is going to be a new superpower. So now how we can accommodate both superpowers, US and China, Allahu Alam, that cannot be possible actually. We cannot accommodate both of them together. There can only be one superpower. The only way we will solve this issue is through WW3. That's what I understand. But that doesn't mean WW3 will happen because of that. It can happen for other reasons. It can happen in the next 10 years, maybe 20 years, who knows, Allahu Alam. But these things may make us very uncomfortable that we have to deal with now two superpowers of our time and to decide who will be ruling over us and who will not. I hope that inshallah, maybe after 20, Brother Ayman Aslan, China is like Mongol. Chinese are very ruthless. They are completely ruthless. They would not care about anyone. They have no fear of God. They do not believe in any human right principle. They have nothing. So they will go all in, wallahi. Like, they have a lot of characteristics of the Yajuj and Majuj. Even though people say they are the Yajuj and Majuj, I don't agree with that. China is not, Russia is not. We do not have. Yajuj and Majuj is completely different entity. They are human being. But they have a lot of characteristics from Yajuj and Majuj. That's what I can tell you. Chinese mindset. And obviously, if you compare the number, like, they're huge in number, Chinese population, and Yajuj and Majuj will be huge in number too. So just give you one example. Inshallah, I'll let you go, guys. Jazakallah khair for tuning in. Again, if you're new here, consider subscribing, like this video, share this video, and I will see you soon again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.